Hello everyone, it's Andrew Hutchings here, and I am not a licensed physician, just a scientist, never giving medical advice. It's just educational or for entertainment. Same reason you go to school. This video is about why energy medicines are very likely the way of the future. Now you may be wondering, what are energy medicines? Well, I just made up that word because they are, well, since I made it up, I get to say what it is. Medicine using energy wavelengths. They could also use sound wavelengths, but I will just call them all energy medicines or energy therapy. I don't know, energy medicine. So traditionally, we use small molecules to bind to proteins in the human body and alter their functions, which goes on to alter the physiology of the human body. More recently, we use larger molecules like proteins, peptides, nucleic acids to do the same thing. We're also now in what I call the genetic age, where we can alter genetics. Instead of using molecules to alter functions of the human body, we can just go in and actually change the genetics so that the body changes what it does. However, there's another pathway that is less explored, at least to my knowledge, and if it's less explored to my knowledge, considering that I'm exposed to most things, it's probably less explored, or at least it's less publicized. It's less publicized, that's for sure. So instead of using, let's say, a small molecule to bind to a protein and get that protein to, let's just say, small molecule binds to protein, gets it to change its structure, you could actually hit it with a wavelength and get it to change its structure in the same way. Now, while it's very possible, we still have to explore which wavelengths can get which proteins to change their structures in which ways. We do need to do testing and research to make a chart or map, whatever you want to call it, a list of which wavelengths affect which proteins in which ways. Because we can't just use like one wavelength, blast the whole human body with it and expect it to do something good. It might also do some bad things. It may take 2 wavelengths. It may take 3 wavelengths. It may take a pulsed wavelength, like hit it a bit, then wait, like have it cut in and out so that it's like hitting it, then not hitting it. Because you may need to like, kind of like when you jiggle a key into a lock, you don't just like push up or push down, and you don't just shove straight. You kind of jiggle it so that you let it go into what it's naturally can go into. It's like if you've... There's a lot of examples of this, but I can't think of really good ones right now. Just when you're trying to get something to get into a certain orientation or fit into a position, you kind of like move it around, you like vibrate it a little so that it can like... You help it get into where it naturally can get into easier. It's like, I don't know a good example, but I hope you understand the idea. Things can take certain orientations, but sometimes you have to give them a little nudge. But if you nudge it, maybe it goes a little too far, then you gotta nudge it a little bit the other way, and if you keep just nudging it each way, eventually it will line up perfect. So with wavelengths, the same thing is likely going to apply. And why is energy medicine better than traditional molecular medicine? I'll give you a moment to think, but instead of wasting time on camera, especially since my memory is low, you can just pause the video and think for a bit. So either you paused the video and thought for a bit, or you didn't, I don't care. But now I will say why. The reason is because even if we make very selective medications that only alter... It even doesn't sound good saying that. Only alter the function of certain proteins or things in the body. I mean, not all medications alter proteins, but let's just say proteins because it's easier than listing things. Even if it only affects certain proteins to change physiology in a certain way, the body doesn't like having random molecules in it. Even if they only have certain, and again, it doesn't sound right to even say certain pharmacology. the body still processes those molecules and tries to get them out. And when you expose the body to molecules that it doesn't normally have, the body changes to be able to process them better and get them out quicker, or to deactivate them faster and get them out faster. You're most likely not going to introduce a molecule into the body and have the body just not change at all. It's most likely going to upregulate its production of certain enzymes so that you can break down those molecules. It may change other bodily processes to help excrete them faster. That goes along with changing the molecule by enzymes. But yes, even if it only has like one protein target in your brain, let's say, the body is still going to adapt to get rid of it. The problem is when the body increases, let's say, enzymes to metabolize that drug faster, those enzymes are also going to have off-target effects on other things that are in your body, disrupting your body's natural balance. When your body's natural balance is disrupted, the body doesn't work as good and problems arise. Why is this? It's because the human body has evolved for millions of years to work exactly in its natural state of things. When you change them, problems happen because things don't work how they've evolved for millions of years to work. So if you use energy medicine instead of molecular medicine, you aren't introducing those molecules into the body that are going to upregulate enzyme production and other things and cause problems. Now, I'm sure there will be some issues with energy medicine, but those are things we have to explore. But for now, it seems that we can eliminate at least enzymatic side effects by taking the molecules out of the equation, so there's nothing to metabolize and excrete. And another issue with energy medicine is going to be selectivity, but we may be able to deal with that by directing the energy or sound waves only to certain areas of the body. And that can be a lot easier than designing a drug to only go to certain areas of the body. I won't get into drug design, but it's a lot easier just to point some wavelengths at your bicep than to design a drug. I mean, it would be incredibly hard or impossible to design a drug that's only going to go to like your left bicep. Probably impossible. So I hope that gave you some good food for thought. I hope you liked this video. My website, which is for consultations, although it's not done, you can still go on the consultations page, and they're not free like it says. Gotta get my Indian website guy to update my website and make it how I showed him in pictures, because I made some pictures of exactly how I want my website, but he hasn't done it yet. But you can get consultations on andrewhutchings.org, and you can see pictures of me, fitness photos, on Instagram, natural_true_fitness. Why do I consider natural stuff to be true fitness? I don't know, maybe I do know. I do know, I don't know why, so I didn't know. It's not necessarily the best for getting the strongest and the biggest muscles. However, going back to when you alter something in the human body that's been evolving for like 6 million years or however long we think it's been evolving, I don't necessarily think scientists are correct. I'm not saying they are incorrect. I'm not saying they're correct. I'm just saying I don't necessarily just believe it off the bat. Because I think that things are more complicated than we realize. But when you, like I said, when you alter things in the human body that's been evolving for a very long time, it causes problems. So when you introduce things like steroids, problems arise. Number one is your cardiovascular health. So yes, that's why it's healthiest and most fit to be natural. Although it probably doesn't matter if you go by the strict definition of fitness, which is how many kids you have, because probably you're not going to kill yourself before you have a bunch of kids. You can check out my other videos. I've got like 409 by now. I don't know exactly how many, but I think 409.